Rita, and James, I want to run through extraordinary how Donald Trump now is really hitting his stride. He's not afraid to come out on any topic, give his forceful, solid, conservative in the values of the West opinions on so many things. I'm just going to run through. He flew to Scotland, where he's had rapturous crowds greeting him in Scotland. He made a couple of very brief press statements here and there. We'll play 4 of them to you, but just listen to each one in turn. The first one is Donald Trump speaking about what we were just speaking about, Hamas. Have a listen.
They pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad.
Hamas want to die. I've been saying all along there is only one end point to this conflict, and that is when every single member of Hamas is either dead or has surrendered and is in jail. That is it. There is no other alternative. And that is the end point. Trump realizes it now. We will see Israel, with American approval, finishing off Hamas, which should have happened 8 months ago, and has only been prevented by the likes of Penny Wong and Albanese and Starmer and Macron and others carrying on and doing this sort of moral equivalence and ceasefires and all the rest of it. Hamas must be destroyed, full stop. James.
Well, no, exactly right. But that's not all that Donald Trump had to say. He had other stuff to say. Well, let's have a look at some other stuff he had to say on Europe.
Here's the next one on Macron, who has recognised Palestine. Have a listen.
But on immigration, you better get your act together, or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country. Nobody. Shut it down. Look, he's a different kind of a guy. He's okay. He's a team player, pretty much. But here's the good news. What he says doesn't matter. It's not going to change it.
Well, I love it, James. Rita, what Macron says does. He's a nice guy, but what he says, poof, doesn't matter. Rita.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does matter. It does throw a bit of a spanner in the works, but yeah, he is dismissing him there. And Emmanuel and Brigitte are busy suing Candace Owens at the moment, right. So they've got their own issues.
But the real problem with the Macron thing, I mean, it's a real problem that Macron actually does that. Yes, on one level, Trump's absolutely right, it doesn't matter. But then on another level, this interference by countries like France actually makes it harder to achieve peace, achieve victory, get the hostages back. Because, again, all of this stuff where you're talking about, oh, well, we recognize this Palestinian state. Well, all you're doing until you have some sort of viable government to run that state is you're rewarding Hamas. You're rewarding aggression. You're rewarding the rapes. You're rewarding the kidnappings. You're rewarding the dragging of hostages back into Gaza, where ordinary Gazan civilians came out and beat them with sticks like rented mules on the backs of utes. We all saw the scenes. This is not what we want to reward. And yet you reward this by giving in to the narrative of the humanitarian crisis rather than saying, we actually need real peace. And the only way that you have real peace is that you defeat Hamas. Hamas surrenders.